Hey guys, we did a freezer to fridge conversion. A couple of weeks ago we set it up. About a week or a little longer than that now, about that long ago we realized we had something we had to store that couldn't freeze, and we wanted to be really sure, extra careful that it didn't freeze, so we chose to pick up a second temperature probe. And unfortunately, it is saying that the top layer of the fridge is staying more than 10 degrees higher than the bottom layer of the fridge. So we're in problem solving mode. These are Inkbird temperature sensors, and I would say they're only about 18 inches apart. And we've got the temperature in the upper part of the fridge regularly around 43 degrees, which is definitely a problem. With that said, mostly in the upper layer of the fridge, I have things like ketchup, mustard, acidic foods. So we've got like pickled onions in there, which are obviously very high in acidity, lemon juice, things that are really, really high in acidity. And so we're just keeping as little as possible. At the bottom layer, we're consistently sensing around 32 to 33 degrees, which is awesome. So the temperature in the bottom is staying good, but we just put in some leftovers last night, for example, and those they don't fit in the bottom. And this morning it's registering between 41 to 43 degrees. So one, I don't know if our rice is still good to eat. I mean, it's rice, so part of me is thinking, well, what all could go wrong? But it incorporated chicken broth in the cook, so I don't know if it's good. And two, my daughter is having a tantrum in the background. I apologize. That's my nearly 10-year-old daughter, by the way. And apparently she doesn't mind that this is going on social media. The second thing is we need to be able to fit a little bit more in there, and now knowing the temperature issue, we haven't been putting anything temperature sensitive in the top layer. So we're debating on how to fix this, and my brainstorming is that maybe we can install a couple of fans. What's interesting is there are videos out there on YouTube of people doing this, but they literally just plug and play it and then offer no real review. And as far as I know, not a single one of them mentioned checking the temperature at the top of the freezer. So it turns out that there's a really big difference there. The concept was, hey, it'll all stay more consistent. It'll all stay at a better temperature. Well, you know, the thing is, your freezer, your chest freezer, usually the bottom layer is several degrees below freezing. It typically stays, I forget, but it's like negative 16, negative 20. So if it varies by 10 degrees, you're still negative 10 degrees at the top of your freezer. And so freezers don't incorporate any fan, as far as I can tell. No, there's no fan in there. Whereas your refrigerator incorporates multiple fans. So it keeps everything circulating, and that way its temperature sensor is more an average of the total fridge instead of a single spot. So we are debating whether or not to add fans. We are also looking at the fact that there's a gap here created by the wires themselves, and I'm wondering whether I should drill a hole and use foam insulation to close that up so that I can put the temperature probes directly in. But that makes me a little nervous, just drilling into a freezer. I thought of also using putty there, as long as the seal will actually come back down around it. Right now, that's how those cords look. In order to add fans, we will have to put in additional cords, and so that's my concern, is we've got a slightly bigger gap with each additional cord. So I'm in brainstorming mode, and my hope with this is that maybe somebody in this group has done this and has some ideas, and I'll continue to post update videos. In the long run, we plan on we have a friend, my sister-in-law has a fridge that we can pick up, but it's in Michigan and we have to get everything organized here and get a U-Haul rented first. And that's why we went with this. We'll ultimately need another chest freezer. Any homesteader knows that, I mean, you can't process all that food at one time. So come summer, it'll be what gives us a little bit more time to get some of the canning done. But at any rate, just putting this out there, asking, has anybody ever done this? Have you ever installed any fans? I can't find any videos on it. There's tons of people who've converted refrigerators and freezers into incubators. So for those, they would have a need for a fan. And I'm hoping that maybe somebody here has done that and can tell me, what it's like to drill in, if I should do that, if I should use putty instead, how many fans and where. We're going to be trying it out if we can't find any answers, and I will share updates on that. But just know that if you're considering this, we wouldn't have known that if it weren't for the fact that we had something that could not freeze. And as far as I can tell, everybody who's done it simply used a single temperature probe. And a 10-degree difference is pretty significant.